Right, in terms of the camera, I've just got this turned on here, by the way, just so we can, because we're going to turn on the lights in a minute. Maybe I'll jump forward to a frame where it's near the camera. 75 is fine. Okay, and then, yeah, dive inside. So this is the camera animation FBX, the first one we imported. And I just want you to delete the camera here. Okay, because I don't want too many here. So we do have two there, but I'm just going to delete because we're just going to render from the one. You can render from the other if you like. So dive inside the new shaders one, and then there you'll find the two cameras. I'm just going to delete shot 02. So I've just got shot 01 there, so I know, you know, this is what I'm going to render from. Now that brings up another point. You can see there in the background we've got the plate that we're going to render over the top. And it's really important that the texture folder that we sent you, right? So you'll have a folder in the student materials called text, and you need to replace the folder in your project, right? So when you create a new project, you go to File, New Project, and it generates this text folder. So you need to replace that with this one that we send to you, yeah? Because inside there you've got the root set up already. So not just put that inside that folder, but replace it with this one. So there, you know, it can go ahead and find things like this, and the lights and some of the materials I think have textures connected up as well. Okay, if you don't see that, I think in the higher lighting, no, you still see it actually. And also if you press D, and then in, let me think now, background, there we go, make sure that's turned on so you can see that's there. Okay, I'm just going to put this over here out of the way and drop in a couple of lights. So redshift light, drop that in there. Okay, and we're going to have two lights. So one will be a distant light. Okay, so distant light there. Drop that down to the bottom and you'll see the effect already. Make sure that's not turned on now so that we're not moving the camera. Spacebar and H. So you can see it's just basically a light which is not coming from this point, it's coming from everywhere in this direction, right? So if I move it along the, where are we? If I move it along certain, well, any translate actually, you'll see it has no effect on the lights, right? It only has an effect if I go, even if it's there or in front of the car, it doesn't matter. It only has an effect when I rotate it, you see? Okay, so it's just a light coming from one direction. So I'll get rid of these anyway, just to make it cleaner. And the transform, I'm just gonna rotate it. I'm just gonna copy in the values that we've got so that your render looks like ours. So 138.242. Minus 138.242 we've got for that, okay, and then the light settings, I think, yeah, we want to bring the intensity down to 1, so we don't want it so powerful, definitely not, and then that's fine to that. Let's jump back in the camera so you can see the effect. Okay, and then we also want RS light dome, yeah, a dome light. Okay, so you can see the effect of that already. It's lighting up a car nice and bright. And then so for this light, we want to find that HDR, which will be in that texture folder. Okay, so if you go into your HIP and then find that text folder, there we go, dive in there, and then so you see that background, and then this HDR2 I'm going to use. Okay, grab that, and you see the effect. I'm going to brighten it up to 1.5, 1.5, so it's just a little bit brighter than it is. So that's a HDR built from that background basically. So from, if I think we have to turn off, yeah. So it's a HDR built from this image. So from that same area, so we get, you know, accurate lighting, which is great. Also need to make sure that we turn off enable background so that we don't actually render this image, you know, of the sphere in the in our renders. Okay, And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I want to rotate the HDR as well to minus 69 in the Y context, in the Y space. Okay, and then I'm just going to drop these down here at the bottom. There we go.